Nobody talks about this, but the most powerful money move last year wasn't a side hustle, a crypto flip, or a hot stock tip. It was a phone call. We're talking about more cash saved than hours grinding a second job. And the only thing it cost was a little awkward silence and the willingness to ask. Last year, the average American household spent somewhere around $17,000 on recurring bills, subscriptions, insurance, and debt payments, and almost none of them ever questioned a single line item. That's not a budgeting problem. That's a psychology problem. Because we've been quietly trained to treat monthly bills like the weather. Inconvenient, inevitable, and completely out of our control. Here's what nobody tells you about negotiated rates. They're not a hack. They're a feature that companies deliberately hide in plain sight. Providers bake retention budgets into their operating costs, specifically because they know a small percentage of customers will call and ask, and they'd rather discount than lose you entirely. Think of it like an iceberg, where you're only ever shown the tip. The price on your bill is the published rate, but underneath the surface, there's a whole ecosystem of loyalty, discounts, competitor match programs, hardship plans, and seasonal promotions that never get advertised ever. The urgency here is real, because every month you don't make these calls is a month you're voluntarily leaving money on the table. We calculated that the average person who systematically negotiates just 5 recurring bills can recover between $1,200 and $3,000 annually without changing their lifestyle at all. Now compare that to a side gig, which sounds exciting until you price in the time, the taxes, the mental overhead, and the very real human cost of spending your weekends doing more work. A negotiated rate is passive income in the truest sense. You do the work once, and the savings compound quietly every single month. The script itself is almost embarrassingly simple, and that's the point. You open by saying something like, "Hi, I've been a customer for several years and I love your service, but I've been reviewing my budget and I'm genuinely considering switching to a competitor. Is there anything you can do on my rate before I make that call?" That sentence does 3 things simultaneously. It establishes loyalty, signals credibility, and creates urgency on their side, not yours. The moment they feel you might actually leave, the conversation stops being a customer service call and starts being a retention negotiation. Now, let's address the fear head on, because most people feel weird making this call. They think they'll sound cheap, or the rep will be rude, or it simply won't work. The data says otherwise. Studies consistently show that roughly 65 to 80% of people who call and politely ask for a better rate receive some form of discount or benefit. The historical lesson from every personal finance cycle that's come and gone is that wealth isn't usually built through spectacular moves. It's protected through disciplined, unsexy habits repeated without emotion. Negotiating your bills is the financial equivalent of compound interest. Boring to describe, extraordinary in effect. The misconception we have to demolish is that companies are doing you a favor by not raising your rate. In reality, long-term customers are statistically the most profitable segment for most service providers, which means you hold far more leverage in that call than you've ever been led to believe. Process matters more than confidence here. And you don't need to be a natural negotiator, you need a repeatable system. Set a calendar reminder every 12 months. Pull up competing offers before you call. Stay calm and pleasant throughout, and be genuinely willing to follow through if they say no. There's something almost philosophical about this whole thing, the idea that the best financial decisions often feel anticlimactic in the moment, like pressing a button and walking away. Discipline, sizing your effort correctly, and showing up consistently will always outperform the flashy, exhausting pursuit of more. You don't need a second job, a viral side hustle, or a lucky break. You need a script, 30 minutes, and the quiet confidence that your business is worth fighting for. Whether the first call works or doesn't, you now know the system exists and that knowledge compounds just like the savings do. And if you want help putting your money to work in smarter ways, beyond the phone calls, whether that's real estate investing, home contracting projects, or connecting with the right lenders, check out our links in the description below.